at night, the trains don't stop at 8:30 until 6 o'clock in the morning. So at 8:30 we close the station, and then we open up this wooden wall, and then we use the whole railway station for events or parties. The people we work with in the neighborhood are very fragile people. So like 2 weeks ago we did an opening with pictures of this one homeless guy and one drug addicted who lives near the central station. So it was opening. Of course they were the central guests, but one was in prison and the other was in the hospital, so they could not come. If you come in poor neighborhoods like this, anywhere in the world, first thing that people will ask you is not give us art, but it's give us a job. And they are right. So it's important for the credibility of your cultural activities, it's important that you have this economy part, so that the people know they do things they provide jobs too, so it's important to combine both. But the space is not fit for theater, the space is not fit for dance, but it's ideal for talks, for music, for parties, and sometimes I do performance. There's too much noise from the trains. We don't have a big stage. The ceiling is very low. It's only 3 meters 40. But it's not our task. We do other things. Marcel Duchamp was right. Context determines content. So, and when I was at Recyclart, of course, culture is important because it brings people together. But you can only bring people together in an atmosphere of informality. And this is one of the most interesting paradoxes in our work. You cannot create informality, because if you create informality, it becomes formal. It's not informal anymore. And so when I bring a musician from New York or from Berlin here, and I come with him and he sees the place and he looks around and maybe he smells the barbecue, he sees the walls and he says, man, I really feel at home here. And he hasn't heard a single note of music, he hasn't seen anything culturally. So why does he feel at home? And it is because of the architecture. I often wonder, it is because we use a building for a different purpose than for what it was used to be used for, or for what it was built for. It's a railway station, but we use it for cultural events. And that creates an inherent sort of informality. The main idea is to create social cohesion. And what I want to do, especially in summer, because then it's nice, it's good weather. So what do we do outside? We cut hair, we tattoo people. You saw it. We barbecue, we bake bread, and we have parties. So the idea in what I want to create is a village in the city, because I don't believe in a city that is made with a master plan behind the desk from an urbanist. I believe in a city that is like a village, and if it's a big city, I believe in a city with a network of villages, because I think you can only survive on a human scale in a village type of context, and this is what we try to do here. In this way, we have to be very quick to see and react to the changes of the surrounding. Otherwise, you freeze something, and then after a while you become old and obsolete. And also symbolically, it's also important that we are under this north-south trainway junction, because the junction cuts Brussels in two. It's like a big scar. It cuts the city in two. And it's a brutal attack on the social. They destroyed lots of neighborhoods between 1910 and 1952 to build this railway. So it's like a scar in the social tissue. And it was important for Recyclart to come exactly here and to try to bring these two city sites together again. So it's like a bridge between the two instead of cutting it in two. That's why it's symbolically important that we are here. If the surrounding completely changes, if it's really gentrified, then maybe Recyclart has to move, and this has to become something else. I don't know what, maybe a crash for children, or I don't know what. At the same time, yeah, it's a lot of problems. It's cold in the winter, the water is leaking, like you see. There's water leaking everywhere. And you cannot structurally repair it because it's the railways. We cannot go there and lift the railway and make it's impossible. So slowly it deteriorates, but it's a metaphor for our life and our existence and our planet. So let's hope that we deteriorate before the structure falls on our head.